Welcome back again to Spirituality with a Spin. They say you can hear a smile in someone's voice. Can you tell that I'm smiling? And sometimes silence. See that? Sometimes silence is so important because it's where those answers are just laying so wonderfully, waiting for you just to stop. Stop with the whole social networking. Stop with the whole societal conditioning. Stop with the whole self-sabotage. And just listen. Listen to your soul. You see, if you've been following me, the past shows that I've been doing are a soul series. Because I believe that we are going through an evolution. A revolution. We have begun to see so many things that are wrong in the world because it takes knowing what it is that you need to fix. If you don't know something's broken, how are you going to fix it? You don't know you need to take your car in for something until the light comes on. So guess what? The light is coming on. And I would love to tell you a secret. Come really close. The secret is everything you need, everything you want, every answer, every emotion, every avenue is already inside of you. You just have to begin to see it, and then say it, and then search and explore. Never sitting in a stagnant place, self-sabotaging. Seems easy to say, I know. Difficult to do. One of my wonderful friends, who sent me a wonderful book, asked me a question, and I think it's pertinent in this soul series as we are putting the soul back in soulmate, and then seeing that you are your soulmate first and foremost before you find your divine path and partner. Like I say, if you are a twin flamer, the twin is within. You got to stop searching without. Because if you find Mr. or Mrs. Right and you are wrong, I don't want to sing that song. You feel me? So, the state of the world. Sometimes it seems upside down. Sometimes it seems frustrating. Sometimes it is overwhelming. Sometimes it shakes you to the core. And as she so lovingly said, I choose not to label it as suffering, but as experience. And I agree. Experience. An exponential expansion of experience. An exercise in evolution. Going from point A to point B, from birth to death, an evolution on this course, this journey. And I can't tell you what your journey is, nor can you tell me what mine is. And in order to complete your journey in the most efficient way possible, you have to begin to understand you are on a journey. You are going forth. You are moving forward. When you get fixed on something, when you fixate, when you overly fascinate, you begin to fumble the ball like in football. And you try to fight to hold on. I need this. This has to work out. I don't know why, but I have to have that. And you begin to fumble. And you can't move forward because you're looking at your feet. Because your foundation is shaky. Now, as your foundation shakes at the core, then you sit and you call out. You call out to Source. You call out to God. You call out to whoever it is that your faith is built on, that foundation that goes back to your feet. And you say, I don't want to do it by myself. I need some help. I need something. I I need a helping hand. You can do it. You can go forward. Everything, every tool is inside of you. As Shakespeare said, there's nothing new under the sun. What's been said has been said before. That door is a revolving door. You've gone through it more than once. That's why it becomes so consistent. That's why sometimes time seems to just click by, snapping, snapping, snapping. You turn around and you've been in 10 years. So let's look at the soul. Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. What have you been building against? What is it that you have inside of you that is making you stay the same? Because you shouldn't stay the same in anything. Every day you're different. Every day you wake up a dynamic person. Every night you die. Every morning you're reborn. You're rejuvenated. You are reinitiated. It is a catalytic effect. Those that come into your life, like your car breaking down, creates a catalyst event. We could say karma. We could say cause and effect. I'd like to say co-create. These catalytic events co-create with you on your journey to keep you moving, so that you're not looking down at the ground, wondering where your feet are planted. You are moving each level, each new piece of foundation, forming under each footstep as you move forward. Foundation has to be mobile. It has to be magical. It has to gain momentum. So that means the diligence of doing it daily is necessary, or you will begin to step in and stay. And I'm not saying we're moving so we don't get married, we're moving so we don't have children. I'm talking about the internal construct of the soul, of the experience. If I live fixed on a belief that fights me, who suffers? Well, the belief doesn't suffer. The being suffers. I put myself in a place where I fight, where I fixate, where I struggle. I'm not going to let that go. I'm not going to let that go. I need this. I need this. Why can't I have this? Instead, I call out to the great big beyond, give me more of what I can't have. Instead of embracing it, believing in the best, and letting it be. Letting love. Because love doesn't hold on to things. Love helps things. Love heals things. It doesn't constrain or confine or control. It helps, heals, nurtures, feels. Do you see where I'm going? Because as we are putting the soul back in soulmate, as we are letting go of the labels, as we are letting Louis Vuitton float out of the window. You like you some Louis Vuitton, right? Or some Gucci, or some BMW, or some Mercedes, or some Maui. These things are just that. They are things. They isolate your intention. They isolate you into a social construct. They isolate you into what someone said has value. Rather than looking at the truth, rather than seeing that value is based in who you are and how you view yourself. I could bust out and look beautiful in something that isn't designer or logo. I can drive a wonderful car all over the world that doesn't even have a logo. It doesn't matter when you die. You know what matters? Your experiences. Like they say, what did you do with your dash? And did you do that dash every day? Were your feet moving forward, step by step? Was your foundation altering with experience, with judgment, with an exponential idea of who you are and who you're becoming? Or are you stuck in what you've been? Are you stuck in where you've gone? Are you stuck in the past, seeing yourself as something you're not? You aren't that person from 10 years ago. The person you loved 10 years ago isn't the same. So if you're waiting for someone, and this is why I say separation, the whole separation phase in the twin flame issues, fixation. Are you fixated? Because are you fundamentally trying to change someone's mind, or are you allowing them through love to blossom and grow and to find what they need to know who they are? That's what love does. If I sit and I manifest and I get all of these readings and begin to monopolize my time just fixated on something, is that love? Because divine purpose, divine partnership comes from a place of love. And love is about learning, allowing, loving, and letting go. Parents have to let go of their children when they grow up and move forward and have their own family. You love them, but you just love them in a different way. You love a 2-year-old different than a 20-year-old. You love your 20-year-old self different than you love your 40-year-old self. You love your dog different when he's a puppy versus when he's 10 and he's dying. Your love is expressed differently at the birth of a child or the death of a loved one. These differentiations, these differences, these nuances, these are experiences. When you go forward and you think, oh my God, I'm suffering, as my friend put it, no, you're experiencing. Our language has a lot of power. Our words are like little lassos that reach out into the great beyond and pull in to us that we spoke. Your voice is your choice. The echo of what you say is your day. And again, I'm not saying that I'm telling you if you speak something, it's going to manifest. I'm saying it's going to edify. What I choose and what I say edify in my day. I can face something as an experience, like my face in the cancer that I'm going through, the skin cancer. I can choose to face it as an experience and see the growth, knowing there's pain, knowing that I will push through it, and that I can see another side. When I've been faced with something that I thought was going to take my life, I still pushed forward. And I knew that my journey, whether it ended then or not, would end when I had agreed. See, you have to start seeing yourself in your day and how destiny plays out. Love and destiny, fate and foundation, and how you see yourself. There is one wonderful quote that I really, really, really love, and I'm going to share it with you. It's Howard Washington Thurman. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So as you're moving forward, as I do, I don't wake up and do a show to save the world. I wake up and I create something that expresses myself. I wake up and I talk to you about what I'm tackling that day. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm trying to open the door for one person at a time and to give one smile a day and for doing one act of kindness a day. I'm here to help myself heal and to heal the people that I encounter. Now, I happen to encounter a lot of people, so I do it diligently and as much as I can do. But it is not my goal to save the world. If you set up something like this, it's going to be so overwhelming, you're not going to see yourself. There's that beautiful saying, love one another as you would love yourself. Love your brother as you would love you. Treat each other as you would treat yourself, as you would like to be treated. Treat the world as you would like the world to be. So if you start one person at a time, like I always got overwhelmed when I was going into my journey. Well, I can't say this because I don't have all these alphabet letters after my name. I don't have a PhD or MD or all these little crazy nuances that people use to confuse. Just because you have a PhD doesn't mean that your life experience expresses what you're saying. You could have learned it in a book and not learned it in your walk. But if you learned it in your walk, you have really walked through fire. If you just did it through a thesis, well, you've learned about it, you've read about it. But when I tell you something, I'm coming from experience. This is an exponential growth inside of me. This is my essence. Don't worry, start working. Daily. Doing it daily, differently. Every day, do something different. Fate versus free will. Destiny versus destination. Are you creating your destiny? Are you manifesting your destiny? Are you experiencing free will? Free will is an exercise in focus. What are you choosing to focus on? Where you put your focus, you will follow. It's like when you're out target shooting. Wherever you point the gun, what you put in your sight is where that ammunition or that bullet will travel, like a bow and arrow. Wherever I aim my bow is the intention, the focus, and the follow-through is releasing the arrow, and I am moving with focus and intention, and it finds its way. It may not hit the exact mark that I lined up, and it may not be right every time because there's conditions which change from the moment that I release the arrow to the time it hits the target. And the things that happen from birth to death. Some things create differences. You've got a series of contracts and a group of wonderful soul people that are involved with your life and the development of everything you're experiencing. We, again, are the wave and the water. The same, but different. You are the boat. When one person suffers, we all suffer. When one person is enlightened, we are all enlightened. The quest to experience yourself and to go into this ascended state, this higher consciousness that people seek, the third eye developing open and pushing open into the clouds, and you're lifting up, turning blue, and you're above, and you're like, I am from another place. Do you see me up here floating above you? I have ascended. I have made it magically above everyone else. Does that sound right? No. You see, even if I was offered to ascend into a highest consciousness of enlightenment, to sit next to the Buddha himself, I know Buddha wouldn't be there. They're back here, and they're being themselves so that they can free everything around them. Seeing it daily, doing the work diligently. I am the water, and I will not go until everyone goes. That is love. That is seeing yourself in someone else. Simple. Sincerity. Sincerity is the essence of seeing something in its purest form in appreciation. Sincerity is expressing yourself in that simplistic form of understanding. When you are being sincere, you are allowing yourself to sit at your strongest place. It's compassion combined with vulnerability. And you're allowing yourself to be seen. Isn't that beautiful? the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. You see, even the biggest label, the D word, divine. You're divine whether you are in the dark or you are in the light. The only difference that is existing is whether or not you choose to love something, and whether or not you allow yourself to be loved. I'm talking about letting go of all the labels. I'm talking about letting Louis Vuitton be Louis Vuitton, but let love be love. When you start pondering questions, when you start sitting next to me and we're over here and we look into the big blue and we say, what do you think? What do you feel? What will you say? Never stop asking questions. And never doubt that the answer is inside of you already. Because your beautiful connection to Source is seated inside of you. And if you haven't done that magical mirror work that I set up for you for 10 days, in 10 days, it will make a difference because you will be deeply connected to yourself. I know that you get stressed. I get stressed. I know that you want things. I want things. But I do know that if you start looking at yourself with sincerity and loving yourself by learning along the way and allowing who you are to be you and to start expressing that truth inside of you, then you will start looking for those universal signs. Then when you start seeing 11:11, when you start hearing things that sound true, when you start getting deja vu, it's not just going to be about a logo or a label. It's not going to be about just somebody else. It's not going to even be about, well, is that my soulmate? No. Those signs are going to be about you. They're going to be about you increasing that level of love that you have for yourself. Because if you love yourself, there's no way, in a healthy way, if you love yourself in a healthy way, there's no way that you can't start loving other people. Because self-respect and dignity and sincerity, those are the key cornerstones of loving yourself. And they come with an entire burst of compassion for mankind. And then when you get that compassion and that love welled up inside of you, then you start feeling passion. And you have a passion to talk to people. You have a passion to share to people. You have a passion to be something, to create something, to see something. Your passions begin to bring you this level of hope and faith. And then passion is exercised with compassion, and compassion is exercising you with creation. And then that faith finds you. And that faith is the cornerstone of free will. I can feel the faith all around me. At my feet, I can feel faith. When I plant my foot down every time on this beautiful garden, I am having the faith that wherever I step, I will not fall. Believing in something, seeing something that I choose to be there. You have to know that something exists. You have to see yourself as something, not nothing. Because nothing doesn't need energy. And as Albert Einstein said, energy doesn't die, it just changes form. So nothing, they thought the whole big black space was nothing. And then they found out that it was dark matter, it was dark energy, and there's more of that than there was light. So there's never nothing. There's always something. Loving what you do, loving who you are, loving who you're with, you express yourself in a new heightened level of experience. And then this whole paradox of fate versus free will moves in unison. So that way, you're not locked up in a label. I'm running, chasing, you're running. No, you're loving or you're not loving. You must express the same love for other people to yourself. So if I'm holding on to something that's hurting me, I'm not loving me. I have to allow. I have to let go so I can grow. That's where destiny keeps me doing things daily. Destiny makes me wake up. Destiny makes tomorrow today. You see? It's beautiful. So as we are continuing this quest into the soul, as we are diving deeper into this soulmate business, we are going to understand how free will unfolds in the universe. And it's going to be such a beautiful thing. It's going to help you. You must find the soul inside of yourself to elevate your experience into the soul-bound experience. When you experience life, you begin to see things and you begin to grow. And as you want to unfold life as you go forward, you're not fixated on the things that you couldn't have. Because fixating on something in the past, fixating on something that's not a good fundamental of where to put your feet, that's a fabrication of imagination. You're diving backwards into the mind of men. You're diving backwards into the compression of society. You're letting labels rule your life again. Here comes the lasso, right around your neck. You're not going anywhere. Where do you think you're going? This love song, this is going to transfer you back like a time machine. This love song is taking you back to 1998 when you had that first dance, when he broke your heart. And this person right now is going to break your heart because in 1998 your heart got broken. And I'm here to tell you, nothing changes. Ego. Lego my ego. So you move forward without the labels as much as you can. You begin to love yourself diligently every day, connecting your soul back to yourself by seeing everybody as the soul that they are. Like I said, it's not the dark and the light that make you lose out on life. It's love. Because if you're operating in a state of love, light and dark, they kind of flow in their own way. So as you love yourself, it's about loving every aspect. As you love the person that's next to you, you understand in order to love myself, I have to love my good and my bad, my happy, my sad. So then you don't have this false expectation and this false assumption that, well, that person hurt me. That person isn't doing this. Well, no, because you love them for what they are, who they are, where they're at in their journey. That we're looking for something inside. And this thing that we're looking for inside is actually outside. And it encompasses all of us. And it's called source. And source is where the soul energy is residing. And that soul energy is in every single thing that you see, hear, feel, or touch. And that soul energy empowers you. And the more you love that, the more you will experience love. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has good and bad. And yes, I can hear some of you right now, your argument is, but I don't love this and I don't love that. And how could you love that? I remember seeing Wayne Dyer talking to Abraham Hicks. Yes, it is difficult. It is hard to love something when it goes against your value, when it doesn't resonate with you. It is hard to love. It is hard to see the good in some things. And yes, anger will override. Emotions will come unhinged. And that's part of being in the flesh. That's part of the daily walk. That's what Paul said about the thorn in the side. The battle of being someone of love. Because sometimes you won't feel secure. Sometimes you won't feel protected. Sometimes you will be angry. Sometimes you'll want to slap somebody. Sometimes you'll want to say something. And you will. And that's okay. Because you can't hate yourself for that either. You can't hate yourself for when you have something that affects your heart. Like when I'm sitting in this beautiful place in Clifton, in Cape Town. And then I drive 15 miles out of town to a township to volunteer, and I see more poverty than I've ever seen in my entire life. Everything inside of me was angry. Everything inside of me wanted to lash out and to ask why, and to see what was going on, and why is this allowed to be? And then I have to look at that. I have to understand, what can I do? Where do I put my focus? And I can focus on bigger things, but I can't lose focus on the daily. I have to be diligent. If I can't do it every day in a little way, how will I make a difference in the big, grand scale of things? And again, I have to save the world one soul at a time, because I can't do more than I can. And to put myself into a place of pressure, trying to persevere over something that is so insurmountable, makes me lose my daily doing. Then I lose my being. Then I get discouraged. And then I get angry. And then I'm not resonating in that level of love, which helps me to learn along the way, which helps me to form the idea and understand. Soul, source, is everywhere. Every single person you encounter has a soul. Every single person you encounter, their soul is connected to source. And even if they're not doing what you say or see is in right mind with what you want, I have to understand that they're still in a place of source. That soul has made those choices in that body, in that experience, and then it's expanding something. It's affecting something in the course of the journey. And I have to learn along the way. And that's a lot of breathing. That's a lot of being. If life was easy, we probably wouldn't do it. The soul wants to experience things. We're evolving source with each incarnation. With every decision you make, we are compounding the experience of source. With all the things that everyone is experiencing, we are increasing consecutively creation. All you can do is do your daily work. Be diligent. Express yourself. Find your truth. Look deep within yourself. And as you ask the questions of, well, why am I not happy? Why am I not living the life I want? Why am I not with the person I'm wanting to be with? These answers are located inside. They may not be where you're looking. You may not want to find those answers. And sometimes those answers take work. It's a walk. Walk, don't run. Walk through your daily life. Walk in your journey. Pace your journey. Pace your journey so you're always present with each footstep. Think of it like if you're running down a trail. Your footing is so important. If you focus on where your feet are being placed, and you see just a tad bit up ahead, just a few seconds, a few steps on where you can place your feet as you move forward, you'll find sure ground, and you'll find your answers. Thank you for sitting next to me and looking into the great big blue, the great big beyond. And again, I remind people, we're sharing, we're growing. This isn't a show. This isn't a top 10. This isn't a countdown. This is people coming together. This is a community. And if it's not something that you feel part of, I wish you well on your journey, because I know you'll find it. Peace, light, and love. And as always, I will see you on the other side.